So things are officially getting out of hand. We know lawmakers are now blaming each other for why the economy is the way it is. Republicans blame Democrats that they just continue to spend too much money, and Democrats are blaming Republicans, saying that they need to jump on board. Because according to President Biden, what he is now saying is we should say goodbye to job growth and low unemployment if the debt ceiling isn't lifted. But that's not it. Today, we saw the April jobs report. And in this report, it showed growth. But what we are now seeing is many people here on YouTube, I'm seeing it in the comments, I'm seeing it on emails, I'm even going to other websites and seeing the exact same stuff. Is people now believe we've been lied to. Well, I want to address that in just a second. But the first big thing is what is happening with the debt ceiling. Well, here's what I can tell you. President Biden is going to meet with other lawmakers. He's going to meet with them in 4 days. Okay, on May 9th, he's going to meet with Chuck Schumer. He's going to meet with Hakeem Jeffries. He's going to meet with Mitch McConnell, and he's going to meet with the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Those 5 people are going to meet at the White House. They're going to discuss the debt ceiling. According to President Biden, we have to increase the debt ceiling, and we cannot do it with limitations. He even goes on to say that right now, the spending and the debt ceiling are 2 different issues. I want to read you this right here. Look at this. It says, there are 2 separate issues. 2. Let's get it straight. They're trying to hold the debt hostage for us to agree to some draconian cuts, magnificently difficult and damaging cuts, but unfortunately, they're threatening to undo all this progress by letting us default. Now, that is true. Republicans are threatening to not lift the debt ceiling, but at the same time, Democrats are threatening to not lift the debt ceiling because of these cuts. It's a major problem. But even though we have this major problem that's hanging up over our head, there's something else that's going on. And that is what just came out today in the jobs report. It showed growth. This is what many people are questioning. How are we seeing growth when at the same time we have this debt ceiling that's hanging up over our head? We have inflation, right? We have all these different things, banking crisis. How are we continuing to spend money? Well, 253,000 jobs were added last month. Unemployment is still at 3.4%, and wage growth, it grew by 0.5% month over month. Annualized, that's 6% wage growth. That's insane. And you've probably seen it today. The stock market absolutely loves this. But some are questioning, is this really true? Are we out of the woods? Well, here's what I can tell you. After reading through a bunch of comments and emails, again, on other videos here on YouTube and other websites as well, many people are concerned with the exact same thing, that we were just lied to. Here's the reason why. Did we get a false jobs report? Did this jobs report come out just in the nick of time to save the stock market from further sell-offs and save the banks? Because what we saw today is, for example, Pac West. They rebounded. They actually went up. A company, a bank that just yesterday we were worried that they were going to go under, which again, they still could. But I think they surged like 80% today. What I can tell you is that most stocks did. Tesla went up. Apple went up, right? You got some big companies that, again, went up. But how are companies going up when there's still a risk of a recession? Still a risk of this default, right? So what I can tell you is what I did. This is what I did. One thing that I'm worried about is that, yes, we are going to see revisions. We are going to see major revisions next month. When the new jobs report comes out, we are going to see revisions to the downside. That maybe we didn't see as many jobs come back. Maybe unemployment actually did go up. Maybe wages didn't grow or didn't gain as much as we thought they did. Right? There could be a lot of changes here. And that's what has me questioning the reports that we're actually getting. So again, I understand why some people don't want to see these reports, but I look at them because this is what I do, okay? I trade off of this information. So one of the things I did today, I end up closing a bunch of my options. I had a bunch of options and ended up closing the majority of them. Why? Because, well, for one, I made a profit. I'm going to sell. The other reason why I closed is because I have no clue what's going to happen. I have no clue what's going to happen next week. We could see additional banks sell off. If it does, it's going to bring the whole stock market down. Now, here's where many people are kind of going at this point. A lot of people that I've talked to over the past handful of hours, just today, they're under the impression that this report that we just saw, it wasn't correct. There's going to be many revisions next month. That's where we have to worry. Okay, that's where we have to worry. Because again, what's going to happen between now and then? Well, here's what I can tell you. This right here. This is the big one. So next week, this is from President Biden. Next week, I'm going to reiterate to congressional leaders that they should do what every other Congress has done. That is, pass the debt limit, avoid default. I've said all along, we can debate where to cut, how much to spend, how to finally over the tax system to where everybody has to pay their fair share or continue the route they're on, but not under the treat of default. I have no clue if that's actually what he said or the person that wrote this is missing many letters. Anyway, that was tough to read. That could have been President Biden. Who knows? Anyway, so next week he is going to, according to this, reiterate to congressional leaders that they should do what every other Congress has done, which is simply pass the bill. This was done, I believe, it was done under the Trump administration, I believe 3 times. They raised the debt limit. Of course, those were very difficult times in the early part of the pandemic. We really needed to, right? We really need to adjust. And so here's the problem now. Where do we go from here? So where do we go? Do we see lawmakers agree to increase the debt ceiling? And if they do, are we going to see cuts? And if we see cuts, how are we going to be impacted in 2024? Are we going to see cuts to Medicaid? Are we going to see cuts to SNAP benefits? Are we going to see cuts to other social programs? We just don't know. Are we going to see an increase to Social Security and the Social Security Administration? Well, according to the bill that Republicans put out, no, we would actually see about a 23% decline in Social Security Administration payments, that funding, but not your Social Security benefits. That will not see a decrease. So, I just wanted to fill you in on this because as of right now, President Biden is really saying that, and again, this is from a CNBC article, he says, say goodbye to job growth and low unemployment if the debt ceiling isn't raised. But why? Well, the reason why we won't see job growth is because we will be in a recession. The reason why we will see higher unemployment is because we will be in a recession. Companies will not be hiring. They will be laying off employees. We will see massive amounts of layoffs. We will see, again, jobs and the market will not grow. We will go into a recession. And according to some economists, it will be a depression, not just a recession. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.